So this is August 14th, and I'm in my vegetable garden, and I'm just going through some of the things I have blooming right now. We have some morning glories right along this fence here, heavenly blues, and I forget what the purple ones are called, but a lot of these are coming up from seed from last year. Got some phlox here, and I've got my Brussels sprouts right here, and I wanted to show you how well they're doing. I did do some companion planting. I planted fennel, which actually helps to deter cabbage caterpillars and moths. And then also I have fennel over here, and then nasturtiums. And the broccoli has gone to seed, and I've got fennel over there as well as garden sage. That helps and deters those insects. I like the broccoli to go to seed because it does attract it attracts bees to the other plants in the area. So there's plenty of things to pollinate here. And the broccoli is pretty much done, but I do still harvest a few heads now and then. The cabbages are doing great. They're really large. They're ready to be harvested right now. And I planted some flowering kale. I just really love the way that looks, and it makes a nice garnish, and you can eat it. There's one down in here, a little too shady. And then I did plant some cilantro, and that's right in here. The peas are done, of course, and the morning glories are following. I do have a couple little moths in here, but they don't seem to be doing too much damage. Tarragon. And I'll use this in cooking. I've been harvesting it all along, and that'll come back. We're in a zone 4 here, so a lot of these things do come back. Of course, not the vegetables, but the tomatoes will actually reseed themselves. This is garden sage, and I have some planted up in the other flower beds too, but the grasshoppers got into them this year, and so I can still use them, but they're pretty chewed up. The turnips do great here. I have a pretty sandy soil here, so I've been adding black dirt as I go, but the turnips just love it here. I could grow acres of turnips on this property. The lettuce is pretty much gone to seed. I kind of like to leave it. It looks really beautiful, and I do feed it to the horses when it gets to this point too. They love it too. This is a helichrysum, and it isn't really for this zone as a perennial, but I think it's such a beautiful plant. They also call it a curry plant. And I have used the flowers I infuse them in oil, and it makes a really good healing oil or salve for aches and pains, arthritis. I've got some that I just finished doing, and I'm going to make something out of it. That's valerian right in here. I haven't planted valerian before. It looks like it's doing really well. Valerian is one of those plants that it's like the root. You use the root for like stress and insomnia. It's a really good pain formula. I've got onions planted here, some reds and some yellow sweet onions. And it doesn't look like much, but there's a lot of them underneath there, and I've been harvesting a few. I love sunflowers. This is really a nice one. like to plant those along the fence. This one, they've gotten really tall. I love these red ones. And this is a lemon balm. I started a lot of my plants from seed this year, a lot of the herbs. And I've got bergamot in the corner here, as well as nicotiana. And cosmos are great for attracting pollinators, and plus they're just so beautiful. And they will reseed for a couple years, unless I dig them up accidentally. And this chamomile here, chamomile is good to plant around onions and peppers, so it's right in here. And I'm sure there's other benefits to it. Got some little peppers here, and of course I've got all this basil. Now I planted this whole row of basil from seed, and I did start some in the house earlier this year, and that's what this is. And it doesn't really look like it's that far ahead of what I planted right here outside, so I may just continue doing that. Just plant the seed right outdoors, because it does catch up. These are some big zucchini plants, and I have harvested lots of zucchini this year already, and I keep getting more. And one of the things I just learned recently was how to tell the male flowers from the female flowers. And I got this off a great gardening site called The Backyard Gardener. And here we have a female flower with the little bud, which turns into the fruit. And the male flower is just a flower with a stem. I didn't know that before, and I think that's really cool. And you don't want to water your zucchini in the morning, because you need your pollinators when it's flowering, because you've got your pollinators coming in during the day, and then by evening you can water it, and then by the next day it'll be dry. The tomatoes are doing great. I've got Monarda planted next to that tomato back there, and I've got them in the corner there. They do help the flavor of tomatoes, and I've got a lot of them, and they just keep being really prolific. Right down here I've got some St. John's wort. I am probably going to have to move this, or move my zucchini from this spot, because the St. John's wort needs a little more room. This is a nicotiana. This is an attraction plant for slugs and other insects. It'll kind of keep them away from your other plants. The tomatoes are doing really well. These are the little cherries. I've been harvesting these for a couple weeks now. The other ones are getting big. I don't see any problems with bugs or fungus or anything. They're getting just the right amount of water and sun. And this one got so big that it toppled everything over. But I'm just being careful so that it doesn't get too wet and laying on the ground. I move it around a little bit. But these tomatoes, as you can see, are really huge. And I've let these romaine lettuce go to seed. They were looking really good. I'm thinking I'm going to try and collect some seeds off of this and save them. And the carrots are doing great. I have been thinning all the little ones out. The horses love these. And I've eaten a few and some salads. And then we've got the beets. The beets are over there as well. I'm going to be planting some other seeds in there, probably some more lettuce, because I think there's a little time yet. We can get another little crop in. This is caraway. I've never grown this before, and I just thought it sounded something I'd like to do. And the poppies, they're orientals, and they're all done flowering, of course. And I'm going to use the seed pods for some kind of herbal tincture, sleep formula, more than likely. So here's the end of the tour, and this is my little compact garden. Have a great day.